Shalom Akim. I'm gonna give all praises and glory to Yahweh Bashem, Yahushai Bashem Rakakadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of GMS who teach and rule well, and salutations to all the occupant all four corners of earth who's pushing his truth with sincerity. Shalom Akim. Yeah, I just want to get in this little topic, about our people. They're in the comfort zone here. The Lord's blessed us with this great gift to be able to break down the scriptures, and we read, we give it back to our people, because what the scriptures are saying and telling us, and warning us, you're not gonna get that at church. You're gonna go to church, you're gonna go in there, and they're gonna have you singing and dancing, and that's what they want you to do when your enemy's coming down on you, sing and dance, the chuck and jive. This is a deterrent that black people have. Everything's a joke. They'll turn everything to a joke, or let's just dance it off. These are the different things that they do to to get by the days and times here in Babylon, man. To comfort their soul, their wicked soul. And it's not really, it's not going to help you. It's going to lead to your death. That's all it's going to lead to. You continuously go into these house of harlots, dancing around, singing, passing the bucket around, feeling in your mind that you're getting, that the Lord is seeing you, and he's knowing who you are, you're going to be in trouble in these times, man, because dark days are ahead. The mirth of this place is slowly vanishing away, and as the mirth vanishes away, what happens, man? The people get upset. We see more and more crimes happening. More and more of these teenage kids are going out doing these crimes, and the mothers and dads, they want to hide. They want to hide because they can't control these kids no more. Now these kids, they went from just robbing to now they have robbing crews, and they they set up different. They're at the gun range practicing their shots. They have high-powered rifles, and on top of that, they also, they practice these things. They practice their wickedness, man. This is Isaiah 30:1. Woe to the rebellious children, saith the Lord, that take counsel, but not of me, and that cover with a covering, but not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin. They walk to go down into Egypt, and have not asked at my mouth, to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh, and to trust in the shadow of Egypt, man. So our people trust in the things that Egypt has for them, man. Whether it be a good job, or there be to push a false sense of hope. And our people love that. They're going to take it and run with it because it's something better than what they have. But at the same time, what they have is trash already. So you're being you're being led from one trash pile to another trash pile, basically. Isaiah 30:3. Therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shame, and the trusting in the shadow of Egypt your confusion, man. I'm watching a video on the news, and they're speaking about downtown Chicago and how it's a ghost town now. And how these McDonald's are leaving, how they had like at least 10 McDonald's down there, and now 6 of them are leaving. So I want to say it's solid 5, so that leaves 5 left. But that's just showing you more and more of this place going down, man. Because McDonald's was a hallmark of your downtown areas, especially in downtown Chicago, where you could, we have the Rock and Roll McDonald's. You had a bunch of different McDonald's, and they're closing down, talking about the bums are coming in there, starting stuff. Well, that's just more signs of the deteriorating of this country, man. And in the shadow of Egypt, your confusion, man, because you really believe this place is gonna come back. You really believe that when you go to church, the Reverend Pigfeet has you in his best interest. You're not seeking the Lord, but you're seeking to please men. And that's what a lot of our people do, man. They're men pleasers. Matthew 7:21. Not everyone that saith unto me, Lord, Lord, shall enter into the kingdom of heaven, but he that doeth the will of my Father which is in heaven. Many will say to me in that day, Lord, Lord, have we not prophesied in thy name, and in thy name have cast out devils, and in thy name done many wonderful works. And then will I profess unto them, I never knew you. Ye depart from me, you workers of iniquity. So once again, man, this is a touchy subject because a lot of the wayward Christians get lost in that name, man. The name alone. And the Lord speaks about how the name is going to be a strong tower to run to, man. And you're using a false name, man. That J word, I broke it down to this one guy who I bumped into. He told me it's a blessing that he's alive. And so I told him to elaborate. He told me that he had open head surgery 3 times. They said he was supposed to be dead, but the Lord kept him alive. And he works for me at one of my jobs. And we were talking, and he says that he's a preacher. He says, I'm on a train. I preach to the people, man, because the Lord is on his way back. And I asked him what the Lord's name was, because it's very important. And he gave me the different names that you could find on Google or whatever, the Yehudis and this and that. And so I was breaking down to him that it's very important that you find the true name of the Lord, because, you don't want to be, whatever your name is, if your name is Chris, you don't want to be called Tom or David or something to that magnitude. You want to be called your name, Chris, And so when Yahweh Shai comes back, he wants to be called Yahweh Shai, man. And not only that, it's a strong tower. So, calling other names will not get you anything, man, but more bullets sent your way, And this is the times when you got to search these things out, man, while the prophets are out there on the highways and byways giving you this word for free. We don't have a bucket passing around telling the people to come get this cheat code, just pay this $5.99.99, But these people in this world, they love, Reverend Pigfeet's sermon. They love things that dress up, that go to twerk at the church, twerk offs, these different things, man. Now let's not forget, the whole role that you go down on a Sunday when you go to the church, from the seniors singing to the youth choir, to the regular choir, to the guest choir, and then you gotta have the money for the guest choir, you got money for the guest preacher, you got money for your preacher, you got money for your youth choir, and this and that. So it's just a bunch that goes into it. It's just a money sucking scheme, if you ask me, And then on top of that, there's a lot of homosexuality that's going on and adultery going on in this place, man. So it's a wicked building. Speaking about the churches, man, that our people go to, that believe full-heartedly in it, subscribe to their programs, and think just because they go to church revival weekend getaways that the Lord is looking after them. This is 2 Peter 2:7. 2 Peter 2:7. And delivered just Lot, vexed with the filthy conversation of the wicked, man. And these people's conversation is wicked in these churches, man. The things they do, the movement they make, the food they eat, it's just a house of full of wickedness, man. A temple full of wickedness, man. And none of them places, whether you go to the faith temples or your regular Baptist church or your Catholic cathedral spot, they're all wicked, man. They're all run by wicked people, man. And the Lord is not dealing with those houses, man. The true prophets are on the highways and byways pushing these words, and that's our job, man. Being open, man. Like the scriptures speak about, man. That's our job, to prophesy, man. Not in the church, like I say, for that feel good sermon, man. For that whole hour or whatever, 2 hours, But yeah, the Lord is vexed with the conversation of these people, man. So how much more vexed are you being a man of the Lord, man? And we're not speaking about, once again, those Sunday worshipers, man. This is James 4:4. Ye adulterers and adulterers, know ye not that the friendship of the world is enmity with Yahweh? Whosoever therefore will be a friend of the world is the enemy of the Lord, man. So once again, man, if your mind is stuck in this world, if you're still thinking that America's gonna be built back again, you just gotta work a little harder. You just gotta pay a little bit more taxes. You just gotta vote a little bit more harder for the next election. Get Sleepy Joe back in the office, even though he's deteriorating away, and it's been happening for some time. But this is what you believe in. You believe in whatever Egypt tells you, man. So like the scriptures say that since you believe in Egypt, it's going to be the confusion. It's going to lead to your confusion, man. I was chopping that up. Let me find it. Go straight to it. Isaiah 30:3. Therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shame, and the trust in the shadow of Egypt your confusion. That's what I was looking for. That shadow of Egypt, your confusion, man. Because yes, America is deteriorating. It's going to be, it's no healing in this place, like scriptures speak about. So it doesn't matter how much you want to build here. It doesn't matter how much your sons and daughters just graduated school and they're looking bright toward the future. It doesn't matter, man. This is the Lord's show, and we're at the end of this wicked kingdom. It's time, and we're ushering in the righteous kingdom. And you 2/3, you don't understand it, and that's fine, man. Continue in your wickedness, man. We just gonna continue to do the Lord's work, man. With that being said, I was edifying. Shalom, Maki.